Hello, welcome. Today I am going to be sharing about how I have found my soul mission, my soul purpose here on earth this lifetime. And my guides have really asked me to share the story because it's a really, really beautiful story. Number one. Number two, they're really showing how they can support you in finding your soul mission, your soul purpose here. And to start off my story, really, this started many, many years ago, even before I really found myself on this path, right? So, growing up when I was younger, I was even as a little kid, like I'm just going back into the memories I have when I was feeling into sadness and possibly depression. So it was a lot of that when I was younger. And suicide wasn't a thing for me. This is becoming a little bit of a thing. And I knew I didn't want to be here, but there was something within me that was like, well, this is really my guides coming through and held that space. Was It's not time to go yet, Alison. You're needed here. And I didn't understand that. And then when I did start diving into it, maybe in my early 20s, when things started to happen again for me, and they were really trying to get me to step back into alignment with my purpose, with my path, and really step into that space. I one of the first things is I really wanted to know who I am, who I was. So, I was like, I always deeply resonated with the mermaids and the merbeings. So I was like, I'm a mermaid, but why can I connect with fairies? Why can I connect with angels? Like, I was trying to really put myself in a box, number one. And number two, I wanted to know why I was here. Like, there's something greater than me. I knew I was built for much more than just working your 9 to 5 corporate job. I always had this random feeling, even when I was at university, that I was going to be teaching something. And I was like, teaching really excited me. And actually, that's how I studied. I used to, write my notes and then pretend I was teaching a class. And that's how I learned. And so, this is like my early 20s, once again, when I was at university. So, I didn't really see myself doing what I'm doing now. And as I reach my mid-20s and, in between mid-20s, like 25 to around 30, I really started to develop this deeper connection with them. And it was much more of a deeper connection than just your spiritual signs or your numbers, your feathers. I already had the sensory, so I can sense always. I could always do this. I could sense when there was something around me. And I would always be too scared to dive into that space. Like, I literally would be like, eh. And I had a beautiful, beautiful teacher that was like, you can choose to let them go and say, you're not ready, and so forth. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for any of that. I was just like dipping my toes back into the water, which is actually a really beautiful thing to say, considering I'm a mermaid. So dipping back into who I truly am, my truest essence. And so as I was on this journey, they would appear, they would show up, things would appear in my life as well, which is quite a really common thing when your guides are trying to communicate with you. But the next level that really, really happened for me is when I actually started to see them. And I mean, actually see them. And so it's interesting because I know that the energies are shifting so like deeply, and so fast as well. It's at such a fast pace. But initially, now I lost my train of thought because where was I going with that? I'm sorry, I just completely lost it. Um, But yeah, oh, right, when I was starting to see them. And that was really a next level thing for me. And that is when they really were like, it is time, Alison. It is time to really step into who you came to be this lifetime whilst on earth. And I was like, next level, whoa. And so over a few years, they really, number one, like were appearing in my life so I could actually see them, connect with them. And they were teaching me many things as well. So I had a few different guides come through at different stages and really teaching me and supporting me. And it's like each one had a practice to teach me, which is really beautiful when I think about it now. Uh, and so now about approximately about 2 years ago, even maybe three, but yeah, I'm going to say about 2 years ago, I just ended up feeling this a massive state of peace coming over me. And that peace was the understanding of why I am here this lifetime and my purpose. And so, giving a little bit of a backstory, as I was starting on this path and I started to receive visions, and now these visions would only happen because this is the only place I told them that they could appear for me was in when I was in a meditative space and I was with someone, because that was very, very important for me. I was always very afraid to do anything by myself. Number one, the fear came up for me because I was afraid of power. So whenever I felt something that was a different energy or a very powerful energy, an unknown energy to me, I would just go into fear, which stopped me really from going even further into that space and receiving from that space. And then number two, I I just didn't feel safe, like in the sense of I was doing this by myself. And what if I didn't come back? Like that's my thoughts before I even started thinking about astral traveling and things like that. Um, well, I don't like to call it astral traveling. I travel interdimensionally. So astral is really fourth dimensional. But I travel interdimensionally. So I travel up into all the different dimensions and as well outwards into all the different realms and realities. And so yeah, and so it was really really, really important for me to be with someone so they could wake me up if I wasn't returning and they could end the session. And then if anything did happen, I could share, because I had no one else. I literally didn't have a guide, I like as in like a mentor to take me through my experiences and of what to do and all these bits and pieces. So I did feel really alone in this space. And so yeah, and then that's when the guides really kind of took me under their wing, and really showed me, like, and I'm not like just saying showed me, they actually took me through the experiences. So like the one I really still remember is protection. And the protection one was just so deep. It was next level. I don't even think I was ready. And I was saying that to them, like, I'm not ready for this. And they're like, you need to learn how to protect. And it was a clear, concise message. And I would see them coming through as well. They were like these, so your guides are nothing like what you've seen before. So I will say that because there's a lot of images out there and they're very beautiful. They're so deep. But when I see guides, they're not that pretty. Some of them are really not pretty at all. And I mean like pretty to the human eye. And then there are things that you see that you don't actually know what you're looking at, and they could be of a lower frequency as well, because they're quite common here on Earth right now. Because they're able to be in the density, they're able to hold the lower frequency, which is a very important thing. And so what my guides have done really over the years of working with them and them teaching me and taking me through my own personal experience is that they've asked me to bring this out into the world now. And so if you are possibly on a similar journey to what I am, if you're a light worker, if you're a healer, if you're a star seed, or if you're just someone who's really sensitive and doing a lot of self-development work, and have these like sensories that are happening to you, maybe you can like really feel them around you, or you are getting a lot of their messages, but the clarity is not coming through with it. I have created now, alongside with the support of my spiritual team and mentors, a beautiful 4-week journey with them. And they will be holding this space. Actually, I am just a bridge for their information to come through. And they will be teaching you how to ensure your communication line with them is very clear, and that you're receiving more than just like, little signs here and there to show you that you are on your right path. They will take you deeper. That is like the beginning of it. That's them saying, hey, we're here, or like maybe you need some instant guidance because the direction, if they didn't interfere, well, interference is not the right word, but if they didn't step in and show you the way, you would have gone on a completely tangent path, which is not in alignment of your soul and your soul mission. So, but working with them on a much deeper level it really opens you up. So I feel like I've just gone like left, right, center, up, down, around. I'm so sorry. There's so much I could share. Like, honestly, I could talk about this for months and months and months. And I have so many stories to share with the world, but one step at a time. And so back to finding my soul mission. The last deep effect that they had on me was Hathor. So Hathor came in, and when I physically saw her, she is definitely one of beauty, like next level beauty. And I saw her Star Nation as well, and they actually did healing on me. So I am open enough where they're able to actually work on my physical body, my interdimensional body, my, multiple energy fields. And they all sent this beautiful frequency throughout my being, which was really beautiful. And then Hathor actually took me very deep. So Hathor stood in front of me, and it was like I was standing in front of another person. And she looked me directly in the eyes, which was, I just can't describe, like when you make eye contact with someone, it is literally like, not all the time, I will say that, but it's like you're talking to someone's soul. So she was really waking up my soul to receive this information. Like, imagine someone just like face to face with you, staring into your eyes and really like looking into your soul, this beautiful ascended master, this goddess. I cannot thank her enough, and she is one of my one of my much loved mentors here. And she really took me, we went underwater, and she actually took this blue rose out of my heart, which was another gift from my spiritual guides. That was from Isis and Thoth. And she pulled it out, and she held it in front of her, in between us, and she said, "We need you." And as she was saying that, I was like, like kind of like how you're thinking now, like running through my mind of like, what, like, what do you need me for? Like, blah, blah. And then she just like literally was just, they don't joke. They really don't. They're very straightforward. And she just said again, like looking in my eyes, "We need you." And as she said it again, it's like my higher self just came in, and really woke it. And then I saw what I was meant to be doing. And then I felt like this huge sadness. So this all happens instantaneous. For me, it did, at least. It's like a download, a remembrance, a key that you totally lock to and opens up, and all this information just pulls out. And as she did that with me, I just got this wave of information about, like, it's like, the flashes that you get, or like what I'm meant to hear to do. And you know what? Those flashes also came with a lot of feeling throughout my body, like deep, deep feeling throughout my body of what it felt like to be doing all this work and what I had chosen to do it. She showed me my blueprint. She showed me, like, my experiences here on earth to date. Like, and this is all in a second. So as long as it's taken me to explain, it was actually really, really fast. And then where I was going with that, right? And it was so powerful. And then there was this huge wave of like sadness that popped into me, because I hadn't been feeling my mission here. I hadn't been stepping into my purpose. I had this awareness, but I chose to like stay in fear, and I chose to, just choose when I wanted to connect with them or not, and not to be with the flow. So, um, and as well, I felt this sadness because this mission that I chose this lifetime was much bigger than who I am and my ego mind. That's like, I get it, trying to protect me and so forth. I am actually quite an introvert, not an extrovert. So doing all this stuff is like, it's new, it's scary, but it's also very feeling, if that makes sense. It fulfills me because it is me stepping into my purpose, stepping into my mission. And this is part of my mission, is to support you on your journey in your connection with them, so that they can support you in remembering your mission. They can support you in stepping into your truest self, your true essence, who you came here to be, the unique gifts that are within you that only you hold, that only you can bring, right? And yeah, and then like, so back to the thing, like, as I felt that sadness, I felt the sadness because they actually showed me my blueprint. They showed me that this mission was much bigger than me, and that I actually had agreed to do XYZ, and all these beings, all these people here were actually waiting for me to open up, to start to feel confident in what I'm doing and what I'm sharing, and in really stepping into my own unique medicine and what I came here to offer the world this lifetime. Because within that, it's going to create shifts, even if it does, like, with one person, even if it was just with one person. They didn't show me how many, but yeah, there was a lot of souls there waiting for me to do this. So, and that's what I looked at her. And so I was always looking at her. This all happened in what I felt like was a period of maybe 10 seconds. Could be a minute. I'm not too sure. I was just in a deep, like, I was in another world. Like, I was in the temple of Hathor with her Star Nation. I was with Hathor alone. She took us into a alone space. The water had risen and we were underwater. She pulled out the rose from my heart, this beautiful blue rose that's still there, and looked me dead in the eye, like dead set in the eye. And when she spoke, it's not like she speaks with your mouth. It's not like us here when I'm talking. It's like a telepathic communication is probably the right word. And then yeah, and then I felt like I said, like, it was like an agreement. Like, I was like, yes, I will step into my path. I accept this support. I accept who I am. I accept my mission. And that's when my whole world really started to evolve into a deeper space. I started to see them more and more often. They actually start to heal a lot of my physical body when I'm really open to receiving that. They provide me constant upgrades. They tell me when upgrades are coming. They tell me when there are shifts happening here on Earth. They share with me so much information, and this information also supports, when I see clients, when they're getting things happening to them or feeling shifts happening to them. It's like I receive channeled information for them, and it's really still blows my mind how much of an alignment it actually falls into with their being, their journey, so forth, so forth. And these people can be really all around the world. Like they they are not just a face-to-face. And as you may know, if you know me, I'm not doing face-to-face sessions at this time. They are purely all distance at this moment. And so removing the fear and stepping into the flow of your purpose is another really important aspect. And I get it, there's a lot of fear, but your guides can really help you dismantle that fear and collapse those timelines that have brought on that fear. And so oh gosh, I hope this is not so much information and that it ends up being a very chilled maybe morning listen or evening listen. Really what I'm here to do is just share information, support you in your journey. And yeah, so I have this beautiful, beautiful workshop where this transformation can really, really happen from you, from just receiving the signs from your guides to actually being in communion with your guides and working with them, for them to really show you and open up your soul mission and soul path to you, so you have clarity around what you're here to do, right? I remember when going from that state of uncomfortable, like, what am I here doing? Like, why am I studying all these modalities? Am I ever really going to be doing Reiki? Am I ever really going to be doing what else do I do? Like working with the trees? Am I ever going to be doing I don't know, like I have done some body process, working with bodies, so forth, so forth. And I've just always gone with the flow without the understanding. But now, whenever I do something, I actually have the understanding. So they now present things to me like they always have, and it's always fallen into alignment with me. But now I have the clarity as to why I am doing this. So at the moment, like I am doing number one, womb work. Really stepping into birthing creations and supporting my divine masculine and my divine feminine and creating balance. And as well, I am starting to do past life therapy for healers, because that is for me like a really, really important space with myself, receiving like the visions of when I take people through the quantum healing sessions. There is so much deep work, and a lot of people that come through me have that space of feeling alone, or the love is not there and so forth. But when I see things and I even just sharing it, it still contains the frequency, and they can feel that really within their being. And then when they feel that, it's like it unlocks a key. But like I say to everyone who does go into those spaces, I really wish I could just replay the video in my head, the vision in my head, and just be like, here, you see. And that's another thing, right? So my guides really helped supported me unlock that past life gift. It is a unique modality. It isn't something that you can just go and study. This is something I used to do back, I'm going to say ancient Egypt times, but I know it goes further back than that, when I was a goddess, a priestess, and I used to hold space in this temple. And these people would literally come, whether a human body, like a human being, sorry, I shouldn't say body, a human being would come, or whether a higher dimensional being will come. And I used to be the bridge. Well, I still am the bridge between heaven and earth. And I used to open up my pyramid to the stars and allow those frequencies to travel into that person or that being. And there was like a lot of healing that happened. There was keys that were unlocked. There were deep activations. There was memories coming up, and people like really started to step into their purpose and their mission. And, soul growth was really apparent there. And yeah, if you're watching this and you've done one of the sessions, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know the transformation that actually happens in those spaces. You know how you feel after it. You know the shifts that occur in your life after you do that session. But what I was saying with that is that my spirit guide showed me that. So that's another part of my purpose, right? Is to constantly be holding these spaces. That's what I am, a space holder for high dimensional beings, high frequency beings, to really calm down into this third dimensional reality and work with the density around us, but really work on the physical human being to allow those shifts to occur, right? And so thank you for watching this far. I feel like I've gone on for so long. There's no timer here, but if you're interested in learning more about your soul mission, your soul purpose, your soul path, and really want to step into that, or maybe you're interested in opening up your own practice a lot more and supporting your clients a lot more deeper in this space, in communion with their guides, their higher self. And this is not intuition based. This is actually communication with your guides. They will actually give you clear, concise information. It is really it's just different. It is different to your intuition. Your intuition is your inner knowing, but then you've got your ego, where your guides and your higher self, once they flood through the information, it is so clear and it's so amazing, the transformations that they create, the shifts that they can support, not only you, but as well your clients on their own journey to stepping into who they truly are, to stepping into what they came here to do, whether heal, whether, just different aspects as well. We're here healing things, we're closing timelines, we're releasing karma, releasing contracts, we're stepping into who we truly are, we're bringing in more light into Earth's frequency. We're doing so much, right? And they're saying, what if you could just be supported throughout that entire time and never feel alone? What if you could just open your heart so big where you feel love all around you, always? And so I'm going to leave you with that, because they're saying, are you ready? Because it's not me. They are the ones that are calling in people. So if you're feeling like a really strong string attached here, it is probably a guide that is with me right now here for you, really pulling you into the space, because they're really asking you to step into who you came here to be, to start feeling your mission, to start walking the path of your mission. So yes, if you have any questions at any time, or want any clarity, please feel free, reach out to me wherever you're seeing this. I'm sending you lots of love today on this beautiful Saturday morning, with all my heart and with the beautiful guides surrounding this space. Thank you for watching this far. Bye.